My family tells me I talk a lot, which is true, but at work it actually is a benefit. I love my job, and one of the components of my job is I go around the United States, Canada, the world, talking with talent acquisition leaders about candidate sourcing, but more specifically, how to measure the performance of their recruitment advertising. You may be saying, well, why are you just talking about recruitment advertising? And the reason being is that if you look at the budget of most talent acquisition organizations, the number one pot of money besides headcount, actually hiring recruiters, is the job ad budget. Most companies spend 5 times more on job ads than they do on their applicant tracking system. So I give these talks, and at the core of them are 3 basic ideas. Number 1, online marketers test, test, and test. Just because something worked yesterday does not mean that is going to work tomorrow. So if what you're doing is you're making your job ad budgets and making allocations about where you're going to be spending your money based on the performance of what happened last year, you are going to find, at least based on the analysis that we've done, probably about half the money that you're spending is going to be wasted. So you should be making decisions in much shorter time frames, not committing for a year, and constantly testing new sources and measuring the existing sources that you have for the next thing. The second bullet point is to measure to an outcome. Most of the time, what people do is they will say, I spend this amount of money, and how many hires do I get? And that's an outcome, and that's a valid way of looking at it. But what's interesting is there's lots of reasons why an organization won't or will hire someone. Most of the time, the best way to evaluate your recruitment advertising is not necessarily to the hire, but to the quality applicant. Because you may have a silver medalist or a bronze medalist that is just as good as the person that you hire, but if all that you're going to do is assess victory to the source that drove that one hire, you may miss a substantially more effective source that is delivering just as good candidates, but those candidates don't necessarily appeal to the hiring manager at that point in time. So the idea of taking how much money you spend on job ads, measuring how many applies that you get, but clearly measure cost per hire, but also try and understand what it costs to get a quality applicant from each one of those sources is going to allow you to compare apples to apples. The last thing is, don't treat every job the same. I can't tell you how often TA leaders talk about averages. Average cost per hire, average quality applicant from a source. There's an old saying that I use a lot. There are 3 types of lies in the world: lies, damn lies, and statistics. And a statistic that is always a lie is an average. By definition, that's what it is. It is not specific to any particular outcome. And so one of the key things that we talk about is the need to drill down and to look at job families, and sometimes even job families by geography, to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples and not kind of looking at a cost per hire from one geography that may be substantively lower than it is someplace else when evaluating your media.